This is the Evil Never Dies podcast with Brett and Carl. This podcast may contain adult themes, violence, and strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to episode 293 of the Evil Never Dies podcast. I'm Brett here with Carl.
Reportedly alive, but maybe not.
Maybe not. So
This haunted house work is killing me, man. And Brett's doing all the work, literally, and I'm just the one dying. I'm the one dying.
Sort of. You had a late start today, so you got an excuse. So,
well,
I've been at it since 9.
Well, actually, I've been at it since 7:30. So,
well, I'm glad we got the Home Depot run done early, even though we forgot half the shit we were supposed to get.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. So,
well, tonight we have a very special episode for everybody.
yes, we do. We have a guest actually. He's a heavy metal drummer, actor, all kinds of stuff. He's got a lot on his plate. Podcaster, YouTuber. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Steve Living Good.
How's it going?
Are you living good, brother?
About as good as I can. I'm living free. Let's say that. I'm living free.
What are you drinking tonight?
Mm.
Scotch?
No. My usual go-to is Canadian whiskey, which is Black Velvet.
Oh, okay. Some mellow stuff there, huh?
Very much so.
Me and Brett
Otherwise, I'd never make it through half my shows.
Well, that's true. Me and Brett usually stick with the absolute vodka.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It's a smooth vodka.
Carl got me drinking that one year after we finished The Haunt, and I've been hooked ever since. So
nice.
All right, so let's hear about you, man. Let's start out with your drumming career.
Oh, well. That I actually did straight out of college. Went straight into trying to make it in the music business, as it were. This goes back to 95. Seems like 100 years ago now. I'm almost 50. uh so I started playing in a couple of different metal bands, a few that had some potential. It was kind of like a mixture of all different subgenres, but I started doing death metal, um I'd say right around 2010.
Okay.
And was pretty consistent with that all the way through to when I decided I needed to slow down.
I was going to say
Because
a death metal drummer's got to be the hardest job in the world.
let me tell you, it's endurance, it's an exercise, and people don't really realize how much of a toll that can put on your joints. So I was like, I'm gonna go and do some doom metal, and lo and behold, we got a really good. I have had some independent record contracts in the past, but I got it. We ended up getting a really good one in a band called Black Tar Superstar, um, which I had played with two of the guys in two other bands. This is back when I lived in Ohio, because I was Ohioan for most of my life.
Oh, okay.
So
you're in Nebraska now,
really
right?
Kind of. What's that now?
You're in Nebraska now, right?
Yes, sir. Last 3 years.
Okay.
And I'm the weird person in Texas that likes the Cincinnati Bengals, so go figure.
Well, we won't, beat you over the head for that. That's all right though. Um, Nothing wrong with that. I love Texas. I just filmed down in Texas last month, the beginning of September. I love it down there. I always said that if I decide to leave, my neck of the woods, that's probably where I'll go.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah,
a great horror scene.
I'm an implant from Illinois, so I've been down here 13 years now. So
Mm,
I was born in Fort Worth and never left.
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth,
Ah,
Texas.
yeah, Carl just
First of,
lives like a block away from me, so I could probably
That's
oh, is that
fun.
right?
I could probably go outside and throw a fucking rock and hit his house if I wanted to.
I
So
think you've done that actually.
so doom metal, huh?
Um, which I actually got the nickname Reaper when I was doing the death metal drums. I was in a band called Twisted Asylum, and upon joining the band, I had to pick a name because they all had their little stage name things, and I'm just like, okay, so it's kind of like the little Slipknot shit,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
okay. But I'm like, I'm not ripping them off, and I damn sure ain't wearing no mask. So
Right.
I started my face paint, the moment I chose it. And so I was like, yeah, Reaper, man, because every time I step on stage, I literally kill the crowd with my drums.
Well, cool.
And it felt appropriate. And it's one of those things where for the next 15, 20 years, it stuck with me. I don't think I've heard my first name in quite a while, except on print. So and I don't mind because I answer to both, government or otherwise. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But yeah, so that's when the face paint thing started. And I mean, it didn't look like this. I've gone through a lot of looks throughout the years. But once I got into the Black Tar Superstar, I did a lot of lighter makeup, basically just kind of deadening out the eyes and stuff like that. But everyone knew me as that. And, me being the marketing guy that I am for social media, I kind of became the face for the band.
Okay,
So
cool.
that even catapulted it even more. I did all the promotion videos, all the little 30-second bits here and there, basically promoting the band, promoting the album, the shows, especially during COVID. We were a band that was created just before lockdown.
Oh wow.
So I had to get really fucking smart, really fucking quick online. How am I going to build us a crowd, a following? How are we going to get out there? So we did a lot of online shows and stuff like that,
Oh,
which is
that's
how
cool, man.
that's how the contract came. And suddenly we found ourselves being talked about in the UK and Germany, Poland. I mean, they just absolutely loved us over there. So
Huh.
we actually, after shortly after our first EP came out, we ended up doing a live stream concert that was actually put together by a promoter in London, which had anything from like black metal to extreme metal, thrash, hardcore, and we were like the only doom band on the whole thing.
Oh, really?
But they wanted us, so I was like, "Fuck, man, let's do it." Um, and then finally, we got to be able to start doing shows again. Um, and things just kind of took off from there. We did a full album with Kingside Records. And then as I was promoting the album, because who do they call to get an interview? They call me. So I went on this podcast that was being broadcasted on Facebook and YouTube. I don't like to say the name because I don't like to be associated with them, but that's okay. Um, After the interview, they're like, "Man, you're hilarious. You're animated. We like your voice. Blah blah blah. Would you like your own show?" I said,
Really?
"I'm just here to advertise my album, and you're offering me a show, a podcast." I never really thought about it before. Like I've watched a lot of podcasts throughout, YouTube's run, but I just never thought about, actually getting and doing one. I was like, well, shit, okay. I looked at all the shows that they had, all the content that they were putting up. So I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to think back to when I was about 20 years old, back when we had to nail flyers on telephone poles and put them on cars to try
Yep.
to get people to come to the show.
The good
So I
old
was like,
days.
yep. Oh, I loved it, man. I
Oh
mean, that's where
yeah.
my hustle originally began. Was being that guy who just didn't give a fuck. I'd go to the local mall and hand flyers out. I didn't give a shit. Just no matter where we were, especially in bars, that was always a fun place to promote as well. But yeah, so um, I was like, here we are. It's 2021 is when my show started. And I was like, there has never been a show that highlighted unsigned bands, underground bands, but why should I stop there? I want to do all underground art. That's anything from underground artists, like digital artists, people who paint, stuff like that. I've had sideshow performers on, and of course, horror. And I was like, I want to highlight some of these great indie horror movies and actors, actresses, directors, writers, producers, and get them on the show to help them promote because I was that 20-something-year-old kid that nobody wanted to fucking lift a finger for.
Exactly.
It was always just us doing our thing. So that's why I was like, okay, Reaper's Underground. I actually started out calling it Reaper's 6 Feet Underground, just to kind of put the horror aspect in there. But it quickly just turned into Reaper's Underground once I left that media company, and my wife and I formed our own with a producer friend of ours, and we ended up doing what was called Three Witches Entertainment, and that's when the interviews just really it was just an interview show. But I branched off into doing some other shows too. One that I'm really happy about is the Tracks of the Damned, where myself and a co-host does like a lot of top 10 lists or kind of going through all the different subgenres of metal and talking about that, doing some album reviews and some fun stuff. So that's one show. Of course, Reapers Underground is the flagship show, which that's the only show I do interviews on. And then I ended up kind of creating some more from there because I just kept coming up with ideas. So I was like, you know what? I want to do just one show that's dedicated to horror and all things horror. So I came up with the backyard horror barbecue show,
I like
where we
that.
talk about a lot of indie horror. Yeah, we kind of took a break there for a minute because I've been doing a shit ton of filming. So we're gonna do an episode tomorrow, and then let's see. There was a show that I just had this idea for because I've always been a big comedy horror fan, and I wanted to do a show that there was no interviews. It's just going to be about day to day fucked up shit you see on the internet, uh, and just be able to talk about anything. And of course, it has quickly become an 18 plus only show.
Oh,
So I
okay.
literally have to, yeah, I literally have to put a stamp on it at the beginning of every show so people know. Oh, maybe my teenager should not see this.
Yeah, we do
Um,
that at the beginning of ours now. So
is that right?
Even though we're not very bad anymore, we've cleaned ourselves up in the last 3 years, I would
we
think.
we still say fuck all the time though. So
Well, we got kicked off the air for like a minute because of a carnivore album, right, Brett?
yeah, we did. I review. We do a mid. We
It's awesome.
do a midweek show where either I or Carl we review an album.
Sure, yeah.
And I did Carnivore, the first Carnivore album. Well, the album cover is a picture of a vagina with teeth,
Yeah.
and that's what I called it. Just like I said it, just like I did now.
And we got reported.
We got reported. So
No shit.
Yeah, we did.
yeah, because I said
Wow.
vagina with teeth, vagina with teeth, vagina with teeth.
They must be really afraid of me then because I probably should have been reported. a billion fucking times. I mean,
Well, maybe I'll have to
um,
start doing my show in the mask then. So in my mask.
Yeah, we've tried. I've had him do his Bubba mask when he was drunk a few times, but I
oh,
haven't
is
got him
that
that
right?
drunk in a while.
Yeah,
But that's the only time we ever had any problems with that Carnivore album, and I don't know what caused that.
yeah.
Probably just some Karen just got their sensibilities stepped on or twisted their tit. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
probably.
It's
them out.
any number of
A lot of
things,
them
you
out
know.
there for sure. A lot of them out there for sure. Uh,
Well, and it's no secret. I mean, obviously, I am involved with the Church of Satan. I've been a Satanist since I was 13 years old. First time I ever read Anton Xander LaFay's book.
well, I was just gonna
So
say, your pictures without your makeup on, you sort of look like
Hey,
you
look
a
at me.
lot. So
awesome. Hey, look
Yeah,
at Baphomet right
I've
there.
got a whole table of demons.
Nice.
Oops, one just fell.
Well, I don't know.
that one's
It's
too heavy to show him. Where do you got that? That one you got down there in
In Galveston, yeah,
Galveston? Yeah,
nice.
it's fucking evil looking, but it weighs like 50 pounds, I think.
it
Oh man,
does.
that's awesome. Kind of reminds me of a lot of like gargoyle statues that I've gotten over the years. Though some of those are just way heavy.
Oh, so
Well, that actually was leading into what
Yeah,
is known as the goddamn program.
okay.
So we are a philosophy of, it's an atheist belief. All the hocus pocus of what is up in the clouds. Nothing
exactly.
against anyone's beliefs. I'm making that very well known. I always say this: it's Christians that have a problem with me. I don't have a problem with them unless you
Yeah,
say
I'm
something
pretty.
stupid.
I'm pretty versed in the LaVey teaching, so I know exactly where you're
Oh, okay.
coming from.
So
Yeah, I
you
know
understand that
exactly.
it's a philosophy.
Of course, yeah, yeah.
Anton was just, I mean, just a very, very intelligent man
He was
and knew that the best indulgence is life, and that you're supposed to enjoy it while you're here, as long as you're not hurting anyone, harming anyone. Because it's like he always says, to go and kill somebody is not very satanic at all.
exactly. Yeah,
Just smoke and mirrors. So, the way I look at an upside down cross is just a symbol. That's why I put it on my nose, that symbolizes I'm just the other side of the coin, the other side of life, I guess. And that's how a lot of us feel. There's no real, evil behind it or anything
no.
like that. We let the movies take care of that bullshit.
I've always sort of
Exactly.
used a lot of the satanic imagery in the haunted houses because it makes people feel uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
Well,
I push the
instantly.
edge, with that because I think it's funny, when I see we had people come through my room at Moxley Manor. I was playing a blue demon, and they would say, you need Jesus, and the blue demon would just go off on them in gibberish, and it was so fun. I just really enjoyed pushing because I love it. It's fun.
Pushing the boundaries a little bit,
Yes,
sure,
exactly.
but
And people don't understand that. They
it's
don't
more of
get
a
it.
satire,
It is. It is.
we're just poking fun.
Yeah, my whole table of demons, people will come in my house and they're like, I have all the horror and stuff I got, they look at that and like, wow, I'm like, well, whatever.
Carl's got a lot of shit.
That and my Ouija boards, they get all tripped out over them.
Well, as long as you are properly versed in how to use it and you don't do something stupid,
Exactly. Yes.
then you'll be fine.
Yes.
That's why I have my own small business, which is a metaphysical, kind of all encompassing all pagan paths,
I
earth
need to check
paths.
that out because I'm always looking
Sure.
for some
It's
shop.
it's called Little Owl Mystics. I am all online right now, so you can go to that
Okay,
Facebook
cool.
page and check out what I got. Um, but yeah, so I'm like, okay, this is going to be the show that we're going to just poke fun at a lot of different stuff. I have a lot of Satanists that do follow me. I have a lot of pagans, witches, Wiccans, whatever. They just love the show, and it's a comedy show where they're trying to make you laugh. The easiest thing that I could do well, sure. I always make it a point to have a couple of videos that we can kind of poke fun at some of the silly Christian shit that you see online. And then the rest of the time, it's like, you know, I turned, what was it, 47. And suddenly my whole Facebook feed constantly has ads of like, you know, get your sex drive back, guys. You know, take this
Oh,
pill,
Blue
that pill.
Chew.
Yeah, all that shit. I'm sitting here going, why the fuck is this coming through? They looked at my age or something and
Oh
just
yeah.
thought that I just instantly needed it. So we
Get
poked
thrown in
fun
that
out of that.
algorithm, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man, and I'll tell you, our viewers are probably dirtier than the three of us that do that show on Saturday nights. So, and it's ended up being just as popular as Reaper's Underground. So,
Is it on
but
YouTube also?
yes, YouTube and
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay.
I simultaneously cast all at the same time. It's live video and comment section. So we are constantly interacting with the fans.
See, I can't do that. I can't chat and talk.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
StreamYard is what Video Bob
Well, I
uses,
mean,
by the way.
physically,
Oh, gotcha.
you know,
Oh, I
trying
could
to
do it.
well, then you're going to
I
be the
could run a
man.
whole.
You're going to
That's
be
what
the
I used.
man then, Carl.
What's funny is in the early days of this live stream stuff, me and Video Bob was running a channel for Vinnie Paul, you know, the drummer from Pantera. And that's sort of what I did was moderate the chat room. So yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that for you, Brett.
All right.
It's super easy, trust me.
Oh yeah.
But nonetheless, so
Not with these fat ass fingers. It's not.
trust me, I know what you mean. But you know, I started. It was about my second year in. I ended up being able to interview guys like Bill Oberst Jr., David Howard Thornton, who is Art the Clown, as you know, and
Okay.
having them on the show kind of like really made a ripple effect. It was kind of crazy that, you know, it was like a day or two after the Terrifier interview came out that suddenly directors were like, "Can you review my movie?"
Oh yeah.
So naturally, I'm starting to make these relationships with some of these guys. And I'm like, well, how can I get involved, like past the Indiegogo thing? You know, because they're always looking for people to help support and donate to the films to get them made. And I was like, well, I've been doing that. I have a bunch of thank yous and stuff like that, producer credits on my IMDb. But I was like, I want to break into acting because after you would never believe it, but for 24 years, I was a high school music teacher.
Really?
Yes, sir. So when I retired, which is when I came up here to be with my wife here in Nebraska, it was in that was fall of 2021. Um, I was like, you know what? This is a sign. If I'm going to try to cross over from stage to film, I better do it now because I ain't getting any younger. And then an opportunity had come up from one of the people I had interviewed on my show, and it was for Attack of the Corn Zombies. And
Okay.
I'm like, well, I want to be a creature actor anyway. Like that's my big thing. I'm a huge Universal fan, a Hammer horror fan. That's where my heart is. The great 70s horror, you know,
Us
Yes.
too.
Argento
Yeah.
and all those guys, because they were the risk takers. They fucking shocked you and scared you all at the same time. It was beautiful. And then
Yeah.
of course, you know, the 80s was great
If
too.
if for some reason you couldn't come on tonight, our backup was Dracula 1972 AD.
Yeah. That was
Ah,
gonna be our yeah.
that's a classic.
Yeah. With the hippies versus Dracula. Hey.
Yeah. So next thing
Oh
I
wow.
know, I find myself in this film. I'm actually on the front cover.
I like it.
They were looking for extras. They needed zombies, and I'm like, well, this is my chance. You know, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. You know, my wife has been doing indie film, you know, for about 5 6 years before I began. So I was like, well, I need to start somewhere. I did a bunch of horror photography. I got onto a lot of independent alternative model magazines. doing the horror photography stuff that I've done. So
Okay.
I sent those out. I said, I have the Reapers Underground podcast, all this stuff. Because they always ask for headshots and shit like that. So they were like, "Yeah, come on, we need you." And I was like, "All right." So I went up to Illinois, which is where we ended up shooting it in Farmer City. And
Brett must
I
know where that
I
is.
I built the
uh,
cable system in Farmer City,
ni-
Illinois.
Oh,
nice.
that's too funny.
Help build anyway.
Literally, they turned Farmer City into 1969, which is where it's set. And because there was this special chemical that they used on the corn to get it to grow fresher and bigger, when you eat it, it turns you into a zombie.
I like
Yeah,
that.
So,
that's about like what they're really doing now, though.
I think
you
it
know,
is.
you know, everything is bigger than it should be.
Yep. Oh,
So, I got into zombie makeup, and of course, I want it to be a successful film, right? So I started promoting the fuck out of it. I had all these, selfies taken of me and my makeup on set, and just started doing a lot of like 30-second videos here and there, just like I would do for the band stuff. And of course, I had a lot of the main cast interviewed on the show. So I was constantly plugging this thing. And I'm not going to say I single-handedly did, because I'm just saying I was just an extra, and I was promoting this film more than the people that had the speaking roles. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
kept pushing it and pushing it. And when they released it onto YouTube, um, it got 17,000 views. That's huge for a small indie horror, production
Of
company
course.
right.
to put something out. And they were just blown away. And I was like, I'm doing cons now, guys. You want me to promote the film? So for months, I was on the road, this city, that city, anything from Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, Texas, even up in Illinois, because I travel a lot with Villain Arts Tattoos. So I had my table set up. I had a little banner made, all that shit to promote that I'm also an actor. I'm not just selling the stuff, from my store. And just word got around, and I constantly took pictures with people who bought the movie. I signed them for them, the whole 9 yards. Shit just blew up. And then all of a sudden, I did 6 films this year.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
It's unbelievable that I never thought that this would happen. You know what I mean? But apparently, people like what I'm doing. I've done anything from I was in a movie recently called Grind, shot back in August in Pennsylvania. I play this will get you. I play the body double for Ginger Lynn as a 8-foot demon.
Oh, I
For
like it.
Ginger Lynn,
Yup.
God, you know how
So
many times I've spanked it to her? Jesus Christ, that's scary.
that's what the fuck I said. I was like, unholy shit. Here's this
Oh,
icon. And I'm playing her body double.
That's
Uh,
too cool.
so I'm known as what's the called the Corey monster. I wish I had a larger photo that I could show you, but this thing is hideous. I mean, it was a full creature suit. So, all the way down to the feet, all the way up to the big fucking mask on my head. If you guys go to my Reapers Underground, you can see photos of it, of course. But that was just and I mean, that was $100,000 project. I was like, oh, I went from being an extra to being paid to do what I love.
Right.
Uh, so I was like, woo, okay, Frankenstein and Creature from the Black Lagoon put together. And then from
oh,
there, I ended up interviewing James Carnes from Cerberus Films LLC, who just did his first film called Killer Cox, just when you thought it was safe to go back to the coop. And this is about I mean, imagine Gremlins and Critters put together mutant chickens.
Oh wow.
Well,
And
that's actually where I contacted you from, Misty Wagner, who's
oh,
in
okay.
some
Yeah,
of,
she was in it with me.
yeah, she tagged me on a post saying you're wanting to uh
Yeah.
come on and stuff. So that's when I contacted you, man. So shout
Oh
out to
no,
Misty.
I appreciate it.
She's a cool chick, man. I love horror chicks, man. She's a
Oh,
cool
she's
chick.
awesome.
So
And she makes some of the greatest horror creations.
yeah, she
Uh
does. She's an awesome artist also.
yeah, big time.
Gonna have
Uh
her on the show soon too. Plus
she
she
made this guy for me.
Oh, he's too cool.
oh, that's the Evil Dead one, isn't it? Is that the Evil
It
Dead?
is.
Sure is. She knew how much of a
Evil
because I
Dead
had her
2,
on
I
my
should
show.
say.
Yeah, Evil Dead 2 is probably my favorite movie of all time. It really is.
Hell yeah. Bruce Campbell, I take pages out of his book all the time when I approach some of the roles I do.
Well, you're gonna have to come down for
Um,
Texas Frightmare Weekend this
You
year.
really
Down,
should. Yeah.
yeah,
that's my hope.
Bruce is gonna be
That's
there,
my hope.
man.
Is Bruce coming
Oh
back?
shit.
Yep, he's the first announced guest. So
Hope he brings Sam Raimi back with him because I keep missing
Oh,
Sam
that'd be
Raimi.
badass. Shit.
yeah,
Hell
come on
yeah.
down, man. We'll have a drink and
Yeah, we'll hang out. Yeah,
Well, I definitely know it would be a great place to promote my films as well.
it will. Yeah.
yep, exactly.
But in this film, we shot it in Waco, Texas, and they wanted this. They wanted my Reaper
They wanted
character.
your Reaper. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
There's
cool.
some trauma guys that are in the film also. As a matter of
Oh,
fact,
really?
Lloyd Kaufman is the narrator of the film, which is badass. So for his first film, that's pretty amazing,
That's pretty
you know.
good.
So
So I was like,
that a
shit, yeah,
horror? Is
I'll
it a
come
horror
down.
comedy or
It's a horror comedy, yes.
okay? All right. I
It's
love horror
gory, it's
comedies.
hilarious, it's wonderful. And of course I was like, shit, yeah, I want to do something in that particular part of the genre. So and then I went to film the sequel to Attack of the Corn Zombies called Return of the Corn Zombies. And unfortunately, I was not able to do the whole film because of scheduling between films. It's like everybody just was doing their production so close together. I'm like, I can't get from point A to point B in a fast enough time, to get
Exactly.
it done. So, but I'm still in it, and because I feel that's where I cut my teeth. That's a big part of my heart is there. And that film is going to do very, very well. And then I got picked up for another guilty pleasure of mine is spaghetti westerns.
Okay.
I can relate.
I grew up on them. Clint Eastwood.
Your dad was a big spaghetti western fan, wasn't he, Carl?
Yeah, my dad was actually a musician. He played Western swing
Nice.
music, and the true story. My dad owned a club in the stockyards of Fort Worth, Texas, and fired Willie Nelson because nobody wanted to see the guy because that's when he used to
Damn.
wear a suit, and look like a preacher.
Yup.
And yeah, he fired him, and Willie went off and made his career. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's awesome. So I got to be in this film because I became really good friends with James Dean, not the dead
us
guy.
the dead James Dean. I'm impressed.
I know he gets it all the time too. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for him, but I love the guy to death. He's the director of Triple Xmas. And that one
Is he
is
the ex porn star? Didn't he used to be a porn star?
no, believe it or not.
Okay.
That's the other James Dean, Brett.
The other James. Okay.
Yeah. That's the third James Dean.
All right.
Right? I don't know how that ended up. I really don't know. But yeah, but he like I said, he was the director of Triple Xmas, so I had him on my show to promote it because it was getting a lot of heat online. I'm like, yeah, we need to push this out, and I love what he does, his passion for indie horror. And he calls me up one day. He says, "Hey, I'm not directing this film, but there's some of my guys that have worked on projects with me in the past." He's like, I got a role for you. It's not a big one, but I mean, it's an IMDb credit, paid, all that stuff. 1 day of filming. And I said, okay. And he says it's down the long river. It's a revenge tale. Well, most Westerns are.
Right.
But I was like, okay, cool. Right on. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. He says, well, your scene is you're part of the gang that's hiding out in the woods and you're a dope addict. You are an opium smoker.
Ooh.
And the leader of your gang is Felissa Rose.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
cool.
And you're going to buy dope off of her in this scene. And I said, sign me the fuck up. I'm there.
Where was this filmed at?
This was filmed in Missouri.
Okay.
Shoot, what the hell is it called down there? It's down past the big city there in Missouri.
St.
It's
Louis.
past it's
St.
yeah,
Louis,
it's
yeah.
past St. Louis down there. I think it was like Wyndham or something like that, or I
Okay.
just know it begins with a
Probably a
W.
suburb of St. Louis then or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And this
Okay.
woman has just a beautiful, beautiful property down there. And, got the big woods. It's got kind of like a cavernous area. And we shot it there. And I had a blast. I was like, I'm the big horror guy on a set full of people that are just, regular actors. They don't really
Yeah.
do horror.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm in my element here. And Felissa was wanting to branch out and do something different. So we hit it off really well. We're good friends now.
I heard
Looking
she's the
forward to,
best.
oh man, she's so nice. Sweet, sweet lady. And it was awesome. So I'll definitely do something in that vein again, especially if it's like a Western slash horror kind of thing. Because, Glenn Danzig did Death Rider and the House of Vampires, which fucking love that film. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's good. It,
I
it, it
did
really
see it.
is. Did you?
Yeah.
I dug it. Julian Sands was brilliant.
Carl's the big vampire guy.
I
Hell
am.
yeah.
Yeah, my haunt character is known as Count Karabi, and he's become
Nice.
pretty infamous here in the last few years. So
Well, you can't beat that.
yeah. I actually named that character after John Karabi, who was in Motley Crue briefly.
Yep.
And when I met
Yep.
John Karabi, I was hanging out with him. I said, I named my haunted house after you. And he looked at me like, are you an idiot or something? Just the look he gave me. I was like, this is great.
Love that story.
I know, me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He wasn't impressed. No.
Oh, I got you.
It's like haunted fucking
That's
what?
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Haunted
usually
Karabi's
how
what? Yeah.
those old guys are.
Yeah.
Um, they're like, I ain't nothing. I was something once and I'm nothing now.
That's
So
sort of how he feels. Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I feel
What's
bad for that. I
Well,
really do.
what's funny, he's in a band called the Dead Daisies now, which is actually
Nice.
touring big, huge, especially in Europe, big festivals and stuff.
Oh yeah, because
And
Europe is where metal truly
Oh
lives.
yeah.
probably more
Yeah.
successful than the current day Motley Crue. So I find that very ironic and proud for him.
Boo! Boo!
Yeah, I'm not a fan of theirs anymore.
And
Not
then
a
just recently, I got picked up to do a 10 episode horror series. And of course, I totally jumped at it. It's basically kind of like Supernatural and Buffy the Vampire Slayer got together and had an illegitimate love child.
Okay, I gotta have to find out about this because those are my two favorite shows.
See?
Yeah, you got my
So
curiosity up.
that's called the Red Huntress.
Red Huntress.
And it's centered around a female heroine, who is known as the Red Huntress.
Okay.
And my close friend Sammy Morningstar is the actress that plays that part, and she was like, "Oh well, we have to have Reaper." I was like,
Of course.
"Well, okay, sign my ass up. This was on my bucket list, right?" So I get there, and I was supposed to play a priest. And I found that to be very, very cosmically
Oh, you're a
comical.
priest in it.
I was going to
Oh,
be, but
going to
then
be,
there
but
was another series that had the same type of character in it with the exact same character name. So he's like, you know what? We're going to scrap the priest idea and we're going to make you a mystic. And
oh,
I got to name him too, Xander Smith.
okay.
Um,
I took Anton's middle name and put it as the
I
first name.
see
I thought it
that. I
was
see how you
brilliant.
did that. Yeah.
And the funny part is that because I'm the town mystic in this little town called Wellows Ridge, all the townsfolk think I'm weird and they call me the Reaper.
Oh, okay. I like it.
all right.
Now that was the director's idea, so I was like, all right, cool, we'll run with it. The one thing I don't want to do is constantly get stuck, using this. I want to be able to stand out.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
you can get pigeonholed there. I'm surprised there hasn't been a clown movie that hasn't tried to snatch my ass up yet.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, I think I would do it one time just because uh,
Captain
Captain
Spaulding.
Spaulding
I
is
noticed that picture in the very
he's
beginning.
a
Yeah.
he's a huge influence on me, Sid Haig, wherever you be,
Look,
brother.
I've got one right there.
Nicest guy, man. I
Up
got to
there.
meet
I got a
him.
Sid Hag too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
He's the nicest guy, man. He was. He was.
That's my only regret. I didn't get to thank him personally
There's actually
because
a
I'm
signed
I'm now
picture right
doing.
there if you can see it.
Oh yeah, yep, I sure do.
I
I've
Hell
had
got
him.
yeah,
to.
Devil's Rejects.
I had him sign it Tutti fucking Fruity.
Hell yeah. I
I got
love
to
it.
meet Angus Scrim, and it was right
Oh
before he was
shit.
getting sick, and he was really what started me because Phantasm was the first horror movie I ever saw. And I
Oh
was wearing my
man.
Moxley Manor shirt, and he's like, "What is Moxley Manor?" And I told him in
Sure.
such his perfect voice. I said, "Well, it's a haunted house I work at." And I said, the reason why I'm into this is because of you. You were like my biggest inspiration. He said, "Well, thank you. That makes me very humbled." And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, I've met so many celebrities and never get starstruck, but that just really tugged at my heart, for him to say
Yeah.
that.
Sure, absolutely. So I wish I could, but if somebody did offer me a role like that, I would totally do it. And I'm just
Why
looking
not,
back at.
man? Why not?
Yeah, because in my opinion, it would be like me kind of, paying homage to him with not speaking like him or anything, but just because this character that I've created, for the podcast, and it's actually just an extension of myself. To me is paying homage to him and a lot of the like Christopher Lee. He's very, very much an influence on me too. So
Mine too. My whole haunt character is sort of based on the Christopher Lee Dracula.
he was the best Dracula ever lived.
Definitely, no doubt about it. Nothing against
He
Lugosi, but Christopher
No,
Lee, yeah.
nothing. Nope, nope, nothing against Lugosi at all, or Gary Oldman for that matter. I
Gary
thought he did
Oldman,
a
yeah.
really nice job too.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, he wasn't about the romance. Christopher Lee was, you're my food, you're gonna do my bidding. I have all my people. I don't give a shit about none of
Right.
you guys. I
Exactly.
mean, he wasn't a bad looking guy, but he didn't sell Dracula that way. He sold him as more of a serious, truly evil being.
Yep.
And I
Right,
feel like
exactly.
I feel that's how he should have been portrayed, in my opinion. But yeah, so I'm like looking back on this. I've only we shot the pilot episode 2 weeks ago, and people are buying perks that are made for me, and I'm sitting here going, me, this guy, I'm just what painted up dead whore. That's what I look like. I'm just me,
That's
and
funny.
it's weird. It's very surreal, but I feel very lucky to be doing what I'm doing. And I've already gotten picked up for yet another series called The Devil's Heir, and of course, I play the devil.
How appropriate.
Fuck, that's gonna be cool as shit.
Yeah, that I just they put the announcement up today, so you can find that on my Reapers Underground Facebook page as well.
Awesome.
So, a man of many hats. I do 4 shows a week podcast, and um, you know, trying to do as much film as I can while all my limbs work well.
So you're retired now from school teaching. So okay,
Yep.
so you get
Basically,
you get
yeah,
the fat pension.
no.
No pension.
No, you do not. You get the fat pension if you
I was just
retire in
yeah,
your 60s.
yeah.
Now, since I retired early, I got what I had in there, and I put most of it because I had a storefront for the last 3 years. So I only recently closed it just because you're paying your shop rent, you're paying your rent at home. It gets to be a little too much. You got 2 kids, all that stuff. So I was like, well, it started out online. Let's take it back online. And, luckily I still have people that like to buy from me because I'm the only metaphysical shop that caters to all paths.
Awesome.
So
That is hard to find. You're right. I don't know of anybody that does. So yeah, I'm gonna
mm-mm,
look you up for that because I've had a
awesome.
hard time. There was a metaphysics store in Arlington, Texas, and he recently had to close his shop and move to a smaller location, and it's sort of
Yep.
depressing.
Inflation, man.
Yeah,
That's kind of how I got caught up too. I'm like, they keep raising the rent. I live in a small fucking town, about 5,000 people, and there's more and more rich folk that are moving in, and they're trying to cater to them because they're putting money into the community and all that shit. So naturally, oh, your house is now double what it's worth. If you own this building on the strip in downtown, raise the rent on them. You'll get it.
that's sort of what
You
happened to
know,
James. James actually
Woo!
married me. We had a Wiccan wedding because he's a Wiccan priest, and
Nice,
all of my I had so many different people there, and a lot of them were just like, "What's going on here?" And I thought it was great. I had
sweet.
heavy metal people. I work for Tarrant County. I've been there for 31 years. So yeah, I can relate to you with being a school teacher. I haven't left because of the pension. I'm trying to build it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
understand.
I had a
Well,
mix of all kinds of worlds at that wedding, and me and James were just smiling the whole time.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. So yeah, there's just more and more stuff that just keeps popping up. So as long as I'm in demand, I'm gonna keep doing it. And it's not really for me. I just want to create something that people will enjoy watching, get to step out of their humdrum lives and watch a good film, you know, just be able
Exactly.
to go into this fantasy world and, I'm playing all these different maniacal characters. And That's why indie film is killing it, man. The mainstream, they suck.
I know they do. We are big supporters of independent films.
And that's sort of our
Awesome.
our new
We need you.
season of the show. That's where we're headed to now is supporting the
Yeah.
indie
Nice.
films. We'll
Um,
still do our Hammer reviews and
Well,
Universal reviews,
sure.
uh,
but
Because we
we're
need to let
starting to
this
head toward the
generation know.
independent circuit because we think that's where we're needed.
Hollywood shit now,
All
man.
of us need. Hmm. Not an
Well, I think
original
Not afraid
idea
to
left.
say it because it is. How many fucking Blumhouse fucking films can you see? Jesus
I
fuck.
call him Bloomberg, by the way. I don't call him Bloomhouse.
Uh,
Bloomberg is what we refer to him on the Evil Never Dies podcast.
Can suck a butt.
Exactly.
uh,
I don't know, but I got a feeling the Terrifier 3 is going to beat the Joker out at the
oh
box
hell
office this
yeah, it
week.
is.
I'm
Hell
I
yeah, it
am
is.
very positive that it already has. I'm
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 just
going to
sure it
love it.
waiting to
is.
Yeah.
find the numbers as soon as
Right.
I
It
can
should be
find them.
coming out by tomorrow.
Exactly. Fuck.
Yeah, it's already been showing here in Omaha, and it's been showing in Oklahoma as well. So some states have already got it. So I can't wait for you guys to see it too. I haven't had a chance to go see it
Yeah, it
yet.
opened. It opened. Be Friday night. Yeah,
Friday night
Oh,
here in
nice.
Dallas Fort Worth. Yeah,
Ooh,
since we run the haunted, we're doing haunted house work, but I'll definitely be seeing that thing very soon.
for
got to get the
sure.
popcorn buckets.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw those.
our buddy from another podcast showed us his collector's cup that he got.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
hell yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He always beats us to everything, it seems
Yeah.
like, on the movies.
Most deaf. So just to let everybody out there know, you can find me at Reapers Underground on Facebook as well as Steve Living Good. I am my podcast network is also combined with Morgrot Entertainment. So myself and the owner of Morgrot Magazine got together and just it was a no-brainer. He's killing it with his magazine. It's all the great underground horror art, underground metal that you can get. So it was a no-brainer for us to get together and then we have another partner who is the principal artist for the magazine. He's known as Defiler of the Crown Art, all original hand-drawn illustrations, pictures, just wonderful works of art. To all three of us together, we're known as the Unholy Three. So you can find us there at Morgrot Entertainment on Facebook as well. And then if you want to see,
already got your Facebook
ah,
right there. Yep.
there we go.
Yep.
Fantastic. And then, of course, you can find me, Steve Living Good, on IMDb to check out all my past work.
That's awesome.
Man.
I'll be at Scarefest weekend in Lexington, Kentucky next weekend. I'll be covering the event for my podcast, but I will also be doing signings. And you can get copies of Attack of the Corn Zombies from me and all kinds of fun Reaper swag.
Have
I
you
like
seen?
it.
Have you? You're going there. You got to go see Redhead, man.
Oh, yeah, Johanna Hodge. Yep.
Yeah,
That's my plan. We're going to be linking up as soon as I get there.
That's
we are,
great.
we
can't
are,
wait.
we are actually. I'm actually announcing this for the first time on the YouTube channel and the podcast. We are
Woo-hoo.
associate producers of Redhead.
Nice.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I seen they.
I'll-
I bought the Blu-ray for me and Carl, and we both watched it. We're like, wow, man,
Loved it. Loved it.
loved it.
Oh, it's very good.
Yeah.
And they're killing it. They're
And it's
picking
better
up
than
every,
anything Hollywood is putting out
I
by
know.
far.
you know,
Yeah,
It
they
looks
just
like a
goes to
big
show
budget
you.
production.
Yeah, they've won like 20 awards now.
They
That's
deserve
right.
them.
That's
So,
right.
Give her a hug for give John a hug.
Oh, absolutely.
And
You'll be able to hear my voice as one of the voices of hell in part 2.
Okay.
okay, cool. That's awesome
So
too.
that'll be a blast. Yeah, I've been following them for quite some time, and I'm just very, very proud of them for putting out something so good.
Yeah.
And it's like I always say, if you're getting hate, that means you're doing something right.
Exactly.
Shit, I've had people report my page a billion times. So trust me, I know. Nobody wants to see you succeed.
We're
No.
doing
So
something wrong, Carl.
I don't know. I get a lot of disgruntled people that just like, yeah, I don't give
Yeah,
a
we
shit,
get some
know.
comments sometimes, but
Yeah, they take it with a grain of salt and they can go fuck themselves. That's what I
Right.
always say.
exactly. All right, Reaper. Well, thanks for coming on the show, brother. We're gonna have to do some more stuff in the future, dude.
We really need to.
Please,
Yeah.
let's
we
do
all got a
that.
lot in common, man. If you want
We
to have
do,
us
yeah.
on our show or on your show or whatever, man, we'd
Oh,
love
I'll definitely have y'all on the underground. Fuck yeah, let's do it.
sure, man. Sounds
I'll
great.
come back anytime you want.
And
Thank
you're
you.
gonna
Yes.
you're gonna have to
the way
email
I've
me all them links so I can put them in the show
Yeah.
notes too.
Oh
okay?
yeah, for sure. There's only 6 or 7 of them,
Hey, that's fine,
but
man.
I'll
I
get them
got
to you.
5,000 characters on that motherfucker. I don't care.
I love it.
Copy and paste,
Uh,
baby.
That's right. Absolutely. And yeah, I mean the whole thing, about the makeup and stuff too, especially now. It's
love
me
it,
paying
man.
homage to the great horror hosts of the past. I
Fucking
was always a big
Svengoolie.
fan of
I'm a Svengoolie.
Svengoolie, sure.
I'm a Svengoolie
Absolutely.
baby, man. I was
Him,
from Illinois.
Son of Ghoul. There was another one known as Ghoulardi. Um, shoot, all the way back to Vampira,
Yeah.
Right.
you know. So
That's
I was like,
that's
well,
a good documentary too on her.
oh shit. He was a fucking pioneer, that lady.
Yeah, she was.
But
All
it's
right,
definitely
brother.
been a pleasure.
I know you got to
Definitely,
get going
yeah.
to do other work here. So
Oh yeah. Thank you guys so
we will
much.
we will
And
catch you later. And
always keep one foot in the fire and one on the ground, and don't give up, even if everybody in your world tells you you can't do it or you're too old or this or that.
and you
That's
know
what
what?
I say.
And you know what else? Stay evil, Carl.
Killer cops will puke on you. What's two stoner egg farmers to do? Killer cops, what this madness? A meteor hit wacky Texas. Duke it up. Killer cops mutated and mean. Chickens turned into killing machines. Killer cops, they're feathered freaks. Here comes Big Pecker with his sharp beak. Duke it up. Killer cops, they all must fry, or we're gonna cock-a-doodle die. Killer cops will puke on you. What's two stoner egg farmers to do? Killer cops, now you're green goop. Just when you thought I was safe to go back in the coop.